Welcome to Variant, where we love comics more than I was excited to finally find out who Mr. Oz is. I'm your host, Arris. Besides the whole Dr. Manhattan thing in DC Rebirth, one of DC's biggest mysteries over the past few years has been the question of who the heck is this Mr. Oz guy? But before I go any further, of course I have to warn all of you that I will be spoiling the identity of Mr. Oz in this episode. So if you're not current with Action Comics and you don't want the reveal ruined for you, this is your spoiler warning. Once again, spoiler warnings galore for Mr. Oz and Superman are about to go down. I don't want to hear any of that "I didn't warn you" bull crap. If you fast forward this part and you missed it, there's nothing I can do about it. Just take it as a life lesson for the future and know that I love you. Now that we've got that out of the way, Mr. Oz first appeared in June of 2014 in Superman issue 32, and DC has been building toward this reveal for over 3 years. Yes, they introduced him way before DC Rebirth was even a thing, so the payoff better be worth it, right? Well, I'll get to that in just a few seconds. In Mr. Oz's first appearance, we only see him in 2 panels watching Superman from a remote location saying, "Come on now, Superman. Clark, you always get up when you're knocked down. I taught you that." Then over the course of the last 3 years, he's appeared in several other Superman titles, and he's also appeared in several other DC titles, like Detective Comics, where he was keeping Tim Drake captive, then in the Trinity comic, Hal Jordan in the Green Lantern Corps, and Supergirl. So he's been making his way around DC. He's like a doorknob, everybody gets a turn. But the crap really started to hit the fan this past month in Action Comics 986. In the issue, Mr. Oz broke into Lex Luthor's building and shoots his armor in the chest with heat vision. Yes, freaking heat vision. That moment had everyone speculating whether Mr. Oz was possibly Martian Manhunter or some alternate version of Superman. Well, it turned out it was neither of them. Anyway, after Oz hits him with heat vision, he says, "You will never be Superman. You are only human. You will only be human, and soon you will be gone." And it's the next issue of Action Comics where we finally get the big reveal. Throughout the issue, we see Mr. Oz instigate several humans into doing bad things, such as drinking and driving, stealing medicine from sick kids, shooting up their workplace, and senselessly killing animals. Now, he doesn't make them do these bad things, he just presents them with the option. Superman tries to save the day in each of these instances, but after an explosion goes off at one of the scenes while Superman is trying to help, Oz shows up and says, "The time has come for us to talk. Not here, somewhere safe." So they go to the Fortress of Solitude. Once they arrive, Superman says, "You called them humans. You aren't?" To which Oz says, "Had I only known what a cesspool this place is, I'd have sent you somewhere better." Then after a few more brief exchanges of dialogue, Superman says, "You can't possibly mean," and Oz replies, "I mean exactly that. I survived, Kal-El, and I know now that I sent you to the wrong place. I am your father. I am Jor-El." And there it is. After 3 years of waiting, we finally find out that Mr. Oz is Superman's freaking dad, Jor-El, who was thought to be dead all of these years, which had me all like, "What?" And man, oh man, am I glad that it wasn't Watchmen's Ozymandias, because I feel like Mr. Oz, Ozymandias, that would have been a little on the nose. But a reveal this huge brings up a whole slew of new questions, like why is half of his face all messed up? How is this going to affect Superman's mythos? How the heck did he survive Krypton's destruction? Where has he been all these years? And those are just the ones that immediately come to mind. However, the bottom right-hand corner of the reveal did say that the secret origin of Mr. Oz would be in the next issue. So I'm sure we will get some of those answers in the next issue, but I'd be shocked if we get them all. Thus far, this twist thoroughly shocked me, and I like it a lot. But I can't imagine that they spent 3 years building up to this just to shock all of us. So I'm extremely curious to see what this means for Superman and the rest of the DC universe going forward, as Superman has been playing one of the biggest parts in DC Rebirth, if not the biggest. I've said many times on the show that DC has been putting Superman at the forefront of DC Rebirth. I mean, the entire Superman universe was essentially already reverted back to pre-New 52 Superman during the whole Mix Yes Spitlick fiasco several issues back. All in all, I think this was a really cool reveal. I just hope they stick with it, and it doesn't turn out to just be someone else disguised as Jor-El or something like that. Because I feel like if you're gonna make us wait 3 years to find out who this character is, and then you finally tell us it's Jor-El, you need to own it and make it work some way without doing the whole overused double twist thing. I don't think they're gonna go that route though, as DC Rebirth as a whole has been really solid thus far. Having said that, this is just my 2 cents on the big reveal and overall story arc. But what do you guys think? Do you hate that Jor-El had supposedly been alive this whole time, or do you love it? Or maybe you wish it was someone else entirely. Let's talk about it. Click the variantcomics.com link in the description below following this episode, and I'll be in the Who is Mr. Oz forum chatting with you guys about it. So I hope to see you all there. Other than that, we'll see you next time when we talk about all things comics.